Today I'm going to address the ongoing jobs crisis in Bermuda, which was crystallized by the latest unemployment figures, which showed record unemployment in Bermuda. Before I get to the meat of the report, let me address the lateness of this report. During the UBP and OBA time in opposition, we heard a constant refrain from the Minister of Finance of the need for us to be timely with the country's statistics. We are only receiving this report in January 2015. This survey that was done has the exact same methodology of a survey which was done in 2012 under the PLP, and that survey was released in October of 2012, a full 3 months earlier than this survey was released in the comparable time. There is no excuse for the delay, and the One Bermuda Alliance need to give a better explanation than the Minister of Finance saying that he just didn't believe or trust the numbers. The Minister of Finance cannot be that out of touch to know that we have a job crisis here in Bermuda. The people of the Department of Statistics are professionals, and I do not believe that they need their work double-checked because the numbers do not match the OBA story of an economic recovery. Unlike the Minister of Finance, Bermudians didn't need to hear the latest statistics to know that we are in a jobs crisis. Each of us knows someone who has been unemployed for some time, recently lost their job, or live in fear of being made redundant, having their wages slashed, their hours reduced, or, at the ultimate, being forced to leave Bermuda and look for more opportunities in other countries. Bermudians didn't need to be told that under the One Bermuda Alliance, Bermuda now has higher unemployment than we've never had before, because we are living it. There are over 3,000 Bermudians that are out of work. These are Bermudians that want to be productive and want to provide for their families. But as the job crisis continues, they are losing hope. And it is important to note that the unemployment statistics measure those people who are looking for work. So these are not just people who are out of work in the economy. These are people who are actively seeking work and cannot find it. It is an important distinction to make. While threats of layoffs and unemployment hang over countless other Bermudians, every working Bermudian is also frustrated by their inability to keep up with the rising costs of basic necessities inside this country. All the figures that came out in the labor force survey are negative. There are very few, if any, silver linings inside of that. I'll now speak to the numbers themselves. There were 511 less people working in 2014 than in 2013, a figure that, of course, pours cold water on the OBA's talk of recovery. The figures show that there were 3,486 people recorded as unemployed. This is the highest number of persons recorded as unemployed ever. The figures show that under the One Bermuda Alliance, Bermuda is experiencing record unemployment, and the unemployment rate of 9% is higher than previously recorded. Wages are down 3% as costs continue to rise. And one of the most sobering statistics is that the black unemployment rate is triple that of the white unemployment rate. Bob Richards and the One Bermuda Alliance may dismiss unemployed Bermudians as mere statistics inside of the margin of error, things that may or may not be real, may not exist. And he can call the black unemployment rate 3 times higher than the white unemployment rate, and I quote, of note. But we in the Progressive Labor Party believe that our people are our greatest resource, and that Bermuda that works for a select few while leaving everyone else behind is not acceptable. 2 years into the One Bermuda Alliance term, it is clear that Bermuda's job crisis is getting worse under the OBA. The backwards thinking and policies of the One Bermuda Alliance in thinking that the country can give tax breaks to business and the benefits will trickle down to everyday Bermudians is an idea from the past. It has failed, and it will continue to take our country in the wrong direction. The One Bermuda Alliance likes to quote and talk about company and corporations, but company and corporations is not what Bermuda needs. Jobs are what Bermuda needs. Bermuda needs a jobs plan, and it is clear that the One Bermuda Alliance does not have one. The Progressive Labor Party believes diversifying our economy should be a priority. We believe that rebuilding the economy with a long-term economic plan for economic growth should be a priority. We believe that comprehensive reform is needed to reduce the economic advantages which still exist in this country for hiring non-Bermudian workers over Bermudian labor. To close, the deeper meaning of these numbers is that our economy needs a wholesale overhaul. We need new and fresh ideas for building an economy for the future and not ideas of the past. These numbers prove that the people of this country require the Progressive Labor Party to lead the way in calling for and talking about plans to diversify this economy. We must do everything we can to also encourage our children to provide careers of employment that are recession-proof. Our children must, to borrow from Professor Mincy, choose jobs that drive the Bermuda economy and not just jobs that serve it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. As much as we would like to think that we live in a post-racial Bermuda, these statistics reveal that when it comes to jobs, there is still a lot of work to do on race in our country. With over 3,000 Bermudians out of work, Black Bermudians make up over 70% of that number, 3 times the rate of white unemployment. Specifically, the bulk of that number relates to Black men, and these numbers don't take into account the number of people who have simply given up looking for work or who have left the country. While we can rationalize this and make excuses, it is evident that the Black community needs serious help in the midst of Bermuda's job crisis. We cannot fix it unless we face it, and pretending these disparities don't exist is not helping. The finance minister speculated that the bulk of these unemployed were based in construction or the service industry. Whether this is true or not is open for debate, but almost 2 years ago, the Progressive Labor Party pushed for the infrastructure development strategy, which would have not only repaired and restored our island's infrastructure, but would have provided relief to construction companies and provided construction workers with jobs. Almost 2 years ago, the PLP was pushing for the Job Corps program, a program that would have provided education and training to vulnerable young people to help them establish a career. This would have been an exceptional vocational and academic training opportunity for our unemployed. No political party has a monopoly on good ideas, and in the midst of this job crisis, we all need to face reality, be open-minded, and willing to work on new approaches that benefit everyone. Thank you.